Hello and welcome to this PIC Wire and Cable webinar. My name is Matthew and I will be your Global Spec moderator, and I want to review a few housekeeping items with you before we begin. Please take a moment to familiarize yourself with the operation of the user interface for today's webinar. The large window with the heading Presentation in the upper left is the primary window for today. Just to the right of the main presentation window is the speaker bio window with background information on today's presenters. Just below that is the Q&A window. At any time during the presentation, you can enter a question into the box in the lower section of the window and click Submit. Your question will be placed in the queue to address when we get to the Q&A session. At the bottom of your screen, you will see additional buttons to enhance your webinar experience. To see what a particular button does, just place your mouse pointer over it and a tooltip will appear with a description of the button's function. Now let me introduce today's presenters. With us today, we have Brian Loeb, the Interconnect Product Manager for PIC Wire and Cable. And we also have John Lytle, the Vice President of Global Sales and Product Management for PIC Wire and Cable. To read more about our presenters, please look at the speaker bio window right next to the main presentation window. And guys, welcome to today's event. And with that, I will pass things along to you to get started.
Welcome to the PIC Wire and Cable webinar. Today, we will discuss the ever-evolving topic of interconnect within the aerospace and defense industries, specifically the D-38999 connector. Let me start off by introducing the speakers for today's webinar. My name is Brian Loeb, and I am the Interconnect Product Manager at PIC Wire and Cable. I lead the product management function and am responsible for product planning and development, product road mapping, and the translation of customer requirements into technical specifications. I have almost a decade of product management experience with prior experience in the electrical distribution and mechanical power transmission industries. Joining me today is John Lytle, the Vice President of Global Sales and Product Management at PIC Wire and Cable, where he is responsible for long-term strategic planning, developing sales plans, product planning, and lifecycle management. John has been with PIC Wire and Cable for 5 years in various leadership roles. He has over a decade of sales and product management experience in prior roles within the electronics manufacturing and mechanical power transmission industries. So let's discuss what we'll be covering today. Today, we'll briefly explore the history of military connectors and learn how technical advances and data requirements have changed the interconnect world over the past decades. As technology has continued to evolve, we'll discuss why interconnects evolved to support these new systems. Then we'll take a quick look at some of the pain points with the current D38999 connectors on the market today, and how the natural evolution in connector form factor has led to this new D38999 style connector, the MACHFORCE connectors offered from PIC Wire and Cable. In the 1930s, the U.S. Department of Defense developed several specifications that outlined how specific electrical connectors should be designed and built for military applications. These connectors were known as AN connectors, which stood for Army-Navy. These specifications set the standard for various military circular connectors and created uniformity so all manufacturers could agree on standards for universal mating. The requirements specified an easy-to-use connector that could withstand extreme and prolonged exposure to temperature, moisture, shock, and vibration that are found in severe aeronautical and tactical service applications. From these original standards came the emergence of the MIL DTL 5015 standard, and several types of connectors later came from this standard. The AN 5015 connector became the standard for all other military circular connectors developed from then on. The AN 5015 connector consisted of a mating pair of plugs and receptacles surrounded by a ruggedized shell with a screw, bayonet, or breech-style coupling to ensure the plug and receptacle remain connected and protected from intrusion of dirt and moisture. These connectors were used in many applications outside of aerospace and defense, like industrial, marine, automotive, and commercial, and can still be found in use today. While the AN 5015 connector proved to be a very reliable connector for its intended use, it was only available in a single keying option and took up a large amount of panel space. As newer applications began to emerge, such as radar, advanced communication, and microwave frequency technologies, the need to transmit higher frequency signals arose. At high frequencies, the effective cross-section of the conductor decreases, causing an apparent increase in electrical resistance. In order to transmit these higher frequencies, size 20 contact and lower wire gauges were needed. With this in mind, the MIL C26482 and MIL C83273 were developed in the 1950s to accommodate size 20 contacts, which supported power applications and robust transmission of higher frequency signals. The MIL C26482 at that time was used by the U.S. Navy, and in the 1960s, the MIL C83723 was utilized by the U.S. Air Force. Both connectors were similar in make and properties. The rise of increasingly complex electronic equipment in the 1970s created a need for greater signal capacity with less power capacity. In response, the MIL DTL 38999 standard was created to fulfill this requirement, leading to a smaller, high-density circular connector that enabled high-speed data transmission. These connectors supported contacts down to size 22, which enable high-speed data transmission with smaller gauge wire. This standard called for better waterproofing capabilities, rust resistance, and weight reduction. These modified connectors now offer multiple keying options, the ability to withstand extreme heat and cold, lower power consumption, higher data transmission rates, and foolproof mating options. Because of the features, the 38999 connectors became the go-to for military and defense applications that regularly rely on interconnects and related components. Since the 1970s, little has changed with the 38999 connectors, but we have seen drastic advancements in technology. We are seeing advances in artificial intelligence, C4ISR, autonomous weapons, cybersecurity, high-definition video, and GPS, just to name a few, all of which require significant amounts of data to be passed quickly and efficiently. However, the existing connectivity networks are already strained, so the addition of these advanced systems will only further increase the demand for higher speed connectivity and bandwidth. Although the 38999 connectors remain a go-to for the market, there are several pain points associated with them. Some of these pain points include low port density per connector, which prohibits multiple connections in a small, confined space. Termination of the existing 38999 connectors can be difficult and tedious. While terminating the cables, damage can occur to the wires, which impact signal integrity. How the cables and pins are terminated in today's 38999 product makes repairing a damaged connector extremely difficult, if not near impossible in some instances. This can lead to extensive rework and added costs for repairs, as well as unplanned downtime for the aircraft or vehicle. With that historical overview, I will hand this over to PIC Wire and Cable's VP of Sales and Product Management, John Lytle. John will provide a deep dive into our specific 38999 style solution that addresses the pain points of the industry and the future of high-speed data transfer with 38999 connectors in the aerospace and defense industries.
Thanks for that overview, Brian. At PIC, we've listened to struggles with the current 38999 and interviewed many to see how we could improve upon the existing 38999 footprint. After much consideration and design, we developed our MACHFORCE family of connectors that are certain to change the way engineers think about copper-based interconnect solutions. I want to start by talking about size, or product density. In the aerospace and defense industry, OEM solutions are constantly battling the need to add more functionality without increasing the physical size of their products. MACHFORCE's proprietary design allows you to pack 10 ports into a size 25 shell. Most premium competitors are only able to get 7 or 8 ports into their designs. In fact, the standard D38999 products that use a discrete wire design are only able to get around 4 ports in a size 25. So in some cases, as a design engineer, you may be able to replace 2 or 3 of other size 25 connectors with only one MACHFORCE size 25. Similarly, the MACHFORCE size 17 connector allows for 4 ports of Ethernet. Competitors regularly allow for 2 ports through their size 17 connectors. A reduced number of connectors results in a smaller, lighter, and more compact final product. Obviously, this saves on weight and space, making it ideal for applications where weight is an important consideration. The MACHFORCE connector has been designed to provide optimum performance in harsh environments. The connector's robustness and excellent electrical performance have not been sacrificed despite its compact design, which provides best-in-class density. The connector's performance has been qualified at temperature extremes between -60 and 200 C. When coupled with the PIC wires E6A6824 or E6A6826 cables, which have also been qualified to 200 C, you have an extremely robust, high-speed data interconnect solution. When your application needs a water-sealed solution, the MACHFORCE connector bodes well, as the straight and 90-degree backshells meet the IP67 water ingress protection limits. I'd also like to address high-speed Ethernet performance and signal integrity. The truly unique portion of all MACHFORCE connectors is the patented high-speed module. This uniquely designed module provides not only the high-density solution with its linear design, but it also enables the connector to maintain outstanding signal integrity. Looking a little closer, you can see the unique elements of the design. First, look at how the modules are configured in a linear pattern. This allows for more modules to be placed on a single row than other connectors in their class. Not only does this help improve density, it also provides better electrical performance due to the reduced crosstalk between adjacent modules. It allows every twisted pair to maintain its twist right up to the pin or socket, where it is then stripped back and grounded at 360 degrees to the high-speed module itself. The rib design of the high-speed module allows each pair to remain isolated from the next pair when the individual pair's shielding is stripped back. When the high-speed module is inserted into the MACHFORCE connector body, that grounding is passed to the connector body. As 2 MACHFORCE components are mated together, again, that grounding is maintained. This all contributes to better isolation of the twisted pair's signal. We have carefully selected the materials to ensure outstanding signal integrity. The dielectric constant rating of the plastics helps keep interference from the pins and sockets. In addition to the speed and durability that MACHFORCE's design provides, it also offers a third benefit: easier termination. Many premium D38999 connector solutions offer difficult wire termination, so difficult in fact that terminating even one size 8 contact can take well over 30 minutes. This is a real problem for industry professionals because it means that technicians are spending less time working on their actual assignments and aircraft or vehicles are out of service for longer. Due to the unique design of the high-speed module, an experienced technician can terminate MACHFORCE connectors in a fraction of that time. The high-speed module makes it easier for technicians who don't have a lot of experience with high-speed connectors to get up and running quickly. This also makes MACHFORCE an excellent choice for anyone who wants to streamline their termination process. By utilizing standard crimped 22D sockets and pins as part of the design, we've also been able to streamline the termination process. No special tooling is required, and the pins and sockets are not so small that they can be easily bent or damaged. Small pins are obviously difficult to work with. The MACHFORCE termination allows a technician to build up one high-speed module at a time and then quickly snap the high-speed module assembly into the connector body when finished. The MACHFORCE connector has been designed with the field technician in mind and aims to solve an industry challenge: field repairability. Most competitive products are very difficult to terminate and nearly impossible to repair after the final assembly is complete. Our high-speed module makes repairs much more simple and easier to access the terminated pins. The MACHFORCE's printed circuit board connector utilizes a very similar high-speed module concept. It's worth noting, though, that this printed circuit board connector can be disassembled and resoldered if necessary. We don't anticipate the need to do this often. However, the connector has been designed with ease of assembly in mind. With that, let's take a look at the configuration options offered for MACHFORCE. MACHFORCE and associated assemblies are offered in a variety of sizes and configurations. If you require additional customization options beyond what is already offered, more offerings are on the horizon. And we're always happy to help if you have an idea or need for an assembly option that isn't yet offered. Brian and I were excited to share the history and modern version of the D38999 connector with you today. But we do want to also share about PIC Wire and Cable, which remains focused on interconnect for aerospace and defense applications. For more than 50 years, PIC Wire and Cable has been a leading provider of high quality and reliable network cables, data transfer cables, and communication cables. We are committed to providing high quality premium products and are always focused on providing superior solutions to the aerospace and defense industries. At PIC, we believe in the power of partnerships. We work alongside you to achieve each of your goals, and we believe that open and transparent communication between our customers and our employees is crucial to a successful partnership. Our technical sales team and engineers are on your team, collaborating to ensure that the project is always a success. We're not just here to take your order, we're ready to help you every step of the way. PIC is a partner you can trust for the long run. With that, it's my pleasure to conclude this webinar. We hope that you feel inspired to learn more about our products and the ways we can help you achieve your goals. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks, guys, for that great presentation. Now, in a moment, we're going to be moving into the Q&A session. So to the audience, if you haven't submitted your question yet, you can still do so now by adding that to the Q&A box and clicking Submit. Please send us your questions or your comments. We would love to hear from you. Now, before we get started, I'd just like to introduce an additional team member that will be helping support the Q&A session during today's webinar. Let's welcome Mike Lopez, Technical Sales Manager for PIC Wire and Cable. All right, let's get into it. Now for our first question from the audience. And it looks like this first one is going to be for Brian, and here's the question. What configurations are included in the MACHFORCE portfolio? Brian?
Hey, that's a great question. Let me start off by saying that MACHFORCE is an evolving portfolio. PIC launched the first MACHFORCE connector in 2019, and since then we've expanded the portfolio to include various combinations of size 17 and size 25 jam nuts, flanges, and plugs, including 5 key options and a variety of back shells, such as a standard profile, low profile, and 90-degree back shell. But I'll point out that that's just what we have today, and we intend to offer more configurations in the near future. So if you didn't hear us rattle off a specific size or configuration that you're looking for, please feel free to contact us, and we would be more than happy to explore that with you.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that. Okay, moving on to our next question from the audience. And it looks like this one is also for Brian, and here's the question. How long does it take to terminate a MACHFORCE connector?
Yeah, another great question. MACHFORCE takes roughly 12 minutes per port to terminate. And there's a lot of advantages that play into that termination time, including the fact that you utilize standard stripping and crimping tools to crimp on standard 22D contacts. So there's no soldering involved. And that makes field termination much easier, and it actually makes termination of connectors in the field and repair of connectors in the field possible.
Great, thank you again. And to the audience, we are in the Q&A session. You can still send us your question by adding it to the Q&A box and clicking Submit. And I just want to mention, while you're thinking of your questions, on your screen in the top right corner, we have some additional information from the PIC Wire and Cable team. We encourage you to follow up. And across the bottom, you'll notice that there's several options for you to reach out to the team and also engage with some more content. And we definitely encourage you to follow up. All right, back to our questions. Let's see what's next here. Okay, great. Here's our next question. Looks like this one is for Mike, and here it is. Is the MACHFORCE connector currently installed in any applications?
Yes, thank you. That's a great question as well. PIC Wire and Cables, we are currently engaged with multiple major OEMs with MACHFORCE and several major projects. One specific is we are on a C-130 military transport aircraft, a mission networking program. This particular customer required a 48-port switch to be installed on that aircraft, which is being implemented by Crystal Group. And the reason they used MACHFORCE is because they could get those 48 ports out of by realizing 5 MACHFORCE size 25 connectors on that box. We are also engaged on a militarized 737, as well as a large OEM computing military box supplier on a future C8 platform.
Very cool stuff. Thank you for that. Okay, let's see. Wow, a lot of great questions in here. Please keep them coming, audience. We'd love to hear from you. All right, let's see what's next. All right, great. Here we go. Looks like this one is also for Mike, and here's the question. You mentioned it was repairable in the field. How is that possible?
Yeah, that's another great question. It's really quite simple. First you just thread back the back shell, and then you can pull out the HSM by loosening or by pressing the tabs together. The HSM will simply come out of the back shell. Then there's a captive screw that you loosen up, which will release the cable, and then you can pretty much pull out the individual 22D contacts and repair them on an individual basis as needed. We're not able to demonstrate this on this live webinar, but if you go to our website, there's termination instructions in there, as well as a termination video, which shows you a real clear, and will give you a real clear understanding on how to repair these in the field.
Oh, very cool. Sounds like a lot of support coming from you guys. And again, to the audience, on your page right now, there's multiple ways to reach out to the team and access more information, so please take a look. Okay, let's see what's next. Wow, great questions coming in. And as mentioned, we're going to try to get to as many questions as we can, but if we don't answer your question for whatever reason, we will reach out after the webinar. So please send us your questions or your comments. All right, here's our next question from the audience. What's the maximum distance these connectors can go? Guys?
Hey, sure, I can handle that one. The MACHFORCE connector can actually go up to 80 meters with up to 5 disconnects and maintain 10G performance. So it's a pretty impressive distance there.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Okay, moving along to our next question. Okay, here it is. How many disconnects are you able to achieve with MACHFORCE? Guys?
Yeah, we covered that one a little bit previously, but again, that can go up to 5 disconnects over 80 meters, and again, maintain 10G performance over that distance.
Oh, wow. Very cool stuff. And let's see, here's our next audience question, somewhat related. Can this handle USB 3.0 speeds or 5G, etc.?
Another great question. Right now, we don't have the MACHFORCE connector configured for USB cable, but as we mentioned previously, we're looking to expand our portfolio. So if this is something you are interested, we are more than happy to work with you to get that developed and into place for your application. So feel free to contact PIC Wire and let us know what you need.
Oh, excellent. Okay, let's see. Like we might be coming to the end here, but to the audience, if you have any last questions or comments, now would be the time to send them in. And again, I just want to make another mention to all the various content that's on the page. On the bottom right-hand corner, there is a book a meeting function. So if you do want to book a meeting with the team to discuss further, we encourage you to do so. All right, let's pop back, see if anything else. All right, it looks like that was our last question for today. As mentioned, if we didn't get to your question, we will reach out after the webinar. So we are going to move to close. So once again, to the PIC Wire and Cable team, thank you so much for the great presentation and also taking the time to answer some questions from our audience. And of course, we'd like to thank our audience members for being part of this webinar event. You will be receiving an email from us with a link to the on-demand version of this presentation, so you can come back and watch this again or share it with your colleagues. And lastly, please take a moment to complete a survey which will appear on your screen at the end of this live webinar. For on-demand viewers, you will find the survey located along the bottom of your attendee console in the survey widget. Again, thank you for taking the time to attend this webinar event. Take care, and we will talk with you soon.